Hey everybody, it's Brian back with the VIP Soundcheck, and I'm back with a brand new VIP six-pack. And today's going to be a little bit different as I want to shine the spotlight on some of my favorite YouTube creators. And what I did was I focused on those who aren't primarily known as musicians themselves. So obviously, as you guys know if you've watched my channel, I find a lot of my favorite music and bands from YouTube. But there's also other YouTube channels of varying types and focuses of content that I love watching, and I just kind of wanted to give them a shout out and share them with you guys, and you may love some of them as well. So that's what this is about. Now I'll probably make a few different videos with these because there's a lot of YouTube channels that I get a lot of enjoyment out of watching regularly. And so these are all ones that, as I've said before, I love when somebody is passionate about whatever they're talking about. So when they're making videos and you can feel that love for their content and that passion come through, I absolutely feed off of that. So every single one of the six I'm going to talk about 100% represents that in their content. So with no further ado, I'm going to jump right in. Now, actually, before I list these, I have already done a video on some of my friends, and I love their content, and I'll put links down below. But Media Man Dan, Jimmy from Bottom Line Podcast, and of course Carly Shay of Shay What Now. Love these guys. They're all my friends. Fantastic content creators. Make sure you show them some love. But I left them out of this list only because I've already done a video highlighting them. So the first one that I want to focus on here is my buddy Jesse Dixon of BEL Development. Now you guys may remember not too long ago I actually did an interview with Jesse. He and I became friends through our mutual love of the band Freeze the Fall, up in the Vancouver area. So Jesse is also from Canada. He is from near Calgary, I think about an hour away from there. And he takes his knowledge of music and being around the music industry for years, and he does a lot of reactions, but he gives some of his expertise into it. And it's not in a arrogant or, nose in the air kind of way, but it's awesome. He's able to dig into the minutia of, his time of being in bands and doing sound for bands and doing lighting and everything of that nature. And it's fascinating to hear his perspective on things. So I'm going to play you, and I will for each of these, just a few moments of some of their YouTube channel to kind of give you an idea of what they are. So again, here's Jesse with BEL Development.
A song called Hypothermia is dropping today, if you didn't know. So I got my warm jacket on. Might be a little bit too warm. We're going to see if we can get through this. And I do have a confession to make, y'all. This is not my first time wearing this jacket and watching this video. The first time I reacted to this, like my first time viewing reaction, I ran out of hardware space on my computer, and I didn't notice until after. And I was straight up disappointed, y'all. I shed a tear. It was brutal. I called Ginny, and I could barely talk. It was awful. But so I figured I would use this as an opportunity to go through the video and point out a few things that I definitely missed in my first go through, and a few things that maybe some of y'all didn't know or maybe didn't catch on the first go either. Man, it's great song. The composition of it is awesome. I love right as we got into the first verse, we had just like that piano, just like the one note, bum 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 bum, and now it's being placed with replaced with the strings. Even though the string has like a melody now, it's giving me that same like eerie feeling, like that tension, right? And like seeing them in this like devastated house or apartment, and like the remorse or like the pain that's on them in this video, and like sure, maybe they're acting a little bit, but they're obviously drawing on the pains that like they're actually like dealing with, right? And like it's hella moving.
All right, make sure you go show Jesse some love, as well as every single one of these that I'm going to mention. I'll put links down below so that you can go and watch all of their content. I think you guys are really going to enjoy them. So the second one I want to talk about, and I am somebody that grew up with Nintendo. I grew up in the 80s and 90s, so video games has always been a part of my life, as a lot of you people. And I kind of have a nostalgia, particularly for like those older generations from Nintendo to maybe like PlayStation 3. I like some of the newer stuff, but I'm always drawn back to that old stuff. And I've just kind of started collecting on my own. And it's not a huge collection like some people have out there, and it never will be. I'm not interested in getting like, the full set of PlayStation 3 games. First of all, I don't have enough money for that. Secondly, I don't have enough space for that. But I like to collect games that I like to play, and every now and then, I don't have a ton of time to play them, but every now and then it's cool to sit down for an hour and put one of those classics in that you love. And this next one really has motivated me and given me a lot of information of games that I love and want to go at, and it's Happy Console Gamer. So Johnny Millennium, I love his channel. Again, the word that comes to mind is passion. You can tell this guy's not simply just a video game collector. He is a video game player through and through. He loves them. And when he's telling his stories about games that he's gone through, and he talks about both new and retro, but the focus is really on retro more than anything. But what I like is he relates it, and he kind of tells stories and how his life and, a given point in his life and what that game means to him. And he has that rare ability to make you feel like when you're watching his videos that you're a friend that he's inviting into his home to share these memories with. And so I absolutely love every time that I see a new video from Happy Console Gamer, I am sure to watch. So again, here's Johnny Millennium and his channel, Console Gamer.
So welcome back to another episode. And yes, the episode is called, Do I Really Need All of This Stuff That's Behind Me and Around My Entire Place? All the video games, all the anime stuff, all of the Dungeons and Dragons stuff of the past, all my anime art books. Do I really need all of this stuff? Like, what is my problem? And we're going to talk about that today. And I'll ask you guys, what do you like collecting? Let me know down below. And is it too much? Have you gone too far with some of your collections? We all want to know, so definitely leave a comment below. So welcome back to another episode, and I had to bring Rob back on to talk about the 30th anniversary of the PlayStation 1. I can't believe it. I know we always say this. We're at another milestone anniversary. I'll ask you guys, do you have any memories of picking up the PlayStation 1 for the very first time? What are some of the games you got? Let us know down below.
Let's move on.
And Jess, how do you feel? I know we're starting to feel like Matt Damon in that movie where we just started getting older, right? As we look back, yeah.
All right, the next one's going to be very similar, as it's also a video game centered channel, and it's Metal Jesus Rocks, and it's Jason Lindsay. Now, what's cool about Jason, again, he's got a passion particularly for retro gaming, and he's very polished with his video, and I mean that in a good way. It's very professionally done. And he actually worked in the video game industry for years. He's up in the Seattle area. And so he has a lot of expertise when it comes to how games are made and, what goes into the process of a game coming to the store shelves. And I find that fascinating. And his passion, he brings on a lot of his friends who are also video game enthusiasts. And they go out and they do, like game pickups, and they go to gaming conventions. And he brings in a ton of really cool talent. And I enjoy every time he puts out a video. So again, here's some videos from Metal Jesus Rocks.
So these are sealed demo discs for the PSP and the PlayStation 2.
Nice, dude. Heck
yeah. So basically what he would do, I guess back in the days, that Sony on their website had like a trivia thing that they would do. And he would basically do the trivia, answer like PlayStation related questions, and these are some of the rewards.
Right on.
This is not all he sent. Actually, I may save some of it for a future pickups video, but you and I are gonna share the booty here. So
awesome, dude. Heck yeah, dude. Right on.
And to get started, we're going to take a look at an RPG that I think every gamer should play at least once. And coming up with that is so hard because, there are literally 40 years worth of great RPGs to choose from. You have some of the real classics like Ultima 4, which just happens to be one of my all-time favorites, as well as Planescape Torment. You have all those Baldur's Gate games. You have all the Final Fantasies. Of course, you have more recent ones like The Witcher and Skyrim, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, etc., etc.
All right, so we're halfway through. And for the last three, I'm really going to focus on history in different ways. So I'm a history buff. I love, documentaries. I find them fascinating. And these last three all kind of fall into that. I'm going to start with Mr. Ballen. Now, Mr. Ballen is Jonathan Allen. He was a Navy SEAL. I gotta tell you, this guy's probably the greatest storyteller I've ever heard. His videos are very simple. It's pretty much just him looking at a camera like this, and then he'll bring in some video, not even videos, but more pictures that from crime scenes or pictures that may not be directly related but kind of set the stage for what he's talking about. And he does a lot of true crime videos, or like places that you shouldn't go but someone did. He's even got some like paranormal stories that he tells, and some of them are from his experience as a SEAL. Now obviously he doesn't go into detail because he can't. He doesn't give up anything. But man, this guy is amazing at telling stories. From moment one, he's got you hooked. And you just keep coming back for more, and it's incredible. So here's some of the channel from Mr. Ballen.
Located in the far northwestern section of Canada is the aptly named Northwest Territories. It is a massive swath of land that virtually nobody lives inside of. To make that point crystal clear, consider the following. The country of Germany has a population of 83 million people, give or take. The Northwest Territories is 4 times as large as Germany, but only has a population of about 50,000 people. In addition to being this huge and mostly unoccupied space, the Northwest Territories are almost completely wild. Think dense forests, huge mountains, massive rivers and lakes, and lots of really big animals. Some call this location the most paranormal location on the planet. Others call this whole thing just a big hoax. But what is undeniably true, and frankly what makes this case so much more interesting, is that unlike the vast majority of paranormal stories and claims, this case was put to an enormous amount of scientific scrutiny. In fact, there was a decade-long study done on this case, where PhDs and scientists converged on this one location and basically around the clock studied, all these claims of the paranormal that was happening in the area.
So next one's also going to be history related, but in a different way, and it's Exploring with Josh. Now, Josh is an urban explorer, urbex explorer, and it's cool because he goes to around the world. He goes to like abandoned, facilities, or even full abandoned cities or shopping malls, and he goes through them, and he kind of it's like taking you into the past and looking at these old dilapidated buildings, but telling the story of what they were and the people that worked or lived there. Now, he's also done some paranormal where he goes into haunted places, and I don't believe in ghosts like most of the world does. What I mean by that, I don't believe in like spirits of your loved ones who are stuck here or who are roaming around. I firmly believe that when a person dies, you face judgment, and based on whether you put your faith and trust in Christ, there's one of 2 options, heaven or hell. And that I 100% believe that. So I don't believe that spirits of dead people are left to roam the earth. I simply don't. With that said, I 100% believe in the spiritual realm. I know for a fact that exists. And so, I'm sorry I'm kind of going off on a tangent here, but I'm always a little bit weary when people talk about they're speaking with ghosts. Because either, to me, it's not real, or it's very dangerously real. And the beings that you're talking to are usually not who they're presenting themselves to be, and there's usually demonic forces. There are absolutely angels on this earth, and that is both angels of the Lord and fallen angels who are demons. So I don't involve myself in that. And I'm not judging anyone. It's just not something that I have done. I find some of the videos kind of entertaining and interesting. I will say that, and kind of cool in a creepy kind of way, but I like more of the actual, like the abandoned places, and Josh does a fantastic job with this. As a matter of fact, I think for the most part he's kind of gotten off of I think he got kind of burned out on the supernatural stuff, and he's now more interested in the historical aspect of going into abandoned places, and I love it. I'd love to do some urban exploring. Now, I will say, and the reason that I haven't, and also a word of caution I would send out to everybody, don't go alone, and don't go if you're not prepared, because it can be very dangerous, because these are abandoned places, they're dilapidated, so just be careful if you're going out doing urban exploring. I'll just say that. Maybe do what I do and watch people like Josh do it, where it's nice and safe at your computer. But again, I love what Josh does. Again, the passion comes through. His sense of awe and exploration is a lot of fun to go on these adventures with him. So here is some of Exploring with Josh.
Paper in classes, everything's kind of just stuck as if maybe something bad happened and they all just left. but maybe like last year, not just, 2012. But this one's pretty empty. There's nothing on the desks here. And things that were, hanging up are right there. They fell, probably from the humidity and heat over the years. Now, what I'm curious about is how advanced were the science classrooms they're talking about, and where are they? This one's really cool. This one's still pristine. Look at this one.
All right, just crawl out of that little window. Coming in. Oh, yeah, man. Whoa. That's funny, because I was looking, I'm like, yo, how you guys see the light? And I'm looking over here, I'm like, yo, there's an actual middle part in here. Just a bunch of old stuff. Tapes.
All right, and the final YouTube channel that I love that I want to talk about, again, is history-based, but it's music history. So I'm kind of coming full circle because I'm primarily a music-based channel myself, and it's Professor of Rock. Now, Adam, I believe his last name is Reeder, Adam Reeder, this guy is awesome. I mean, he literally is a historian when it comes to rock and music in general. And he presents it in such a way that it's like sitting with a friend and talking about your favorite album. And he gets very excited and he's so knowledgeable and he dives into the albums and the songs, the story behind how the song came to be, or the rise and fall of a band. And I absolutely love it. I can't get enough of it. So again, here is some of Professor of Rock for you guys to enjoy.
Following on the heels of two gigantic #1 Billboard hits in 1985, today's featured song, written by two iconic synth rock pioneers, legends. This song was in line to make it 3 #1s in a row. Unprecedented. But would it happen? Ambitious and anthemic, this song boasts some highly intelligent lyrics that really take quite a few listens to unriddle. Came from a record that was named after a strange TV movie with a music video that defined the 80s. Truly one of the most underappreciated songs of the Neon Decade, in my opinion, one of the best. Page in particular was really brought down by the hammering that they took from the press. Years later, he would say, with 3, they didn't really understand what we were doing, acoustic music. But it was already all over the first album. I've said in the past that I'll give it the benefit of the doubt that maybe reviewers only had a short time to review the album because it went totally over their heads, really. The Rolling Stone review was a definite hatchet job. We were told that. It didn't matter. We had a bigger circulation than Rolling Stone.
Now, I know I kind of just gave you a little bit of each of them, and there's so much that every single one of these has on their channel. I really encourage you to go check them out. Let me know down in the comments of what you think of these ones after you check them out. What other channels do you guys like? I'm always looking for amazing new content. And like I said, if somebody is very passionate about the subject that they're talking about, I'm probably going to enjoy their videos. So I want to thank you guys for joining me on this. Let me know again down in the comments of who you like to watch. If you like this video, be sure to hit the subscribe button and notification bell. That helps me out and gets it out to more people. As always, I want to thank you guys for spending this time with me. I love you all. God bless. And rock on.
Please invite the like button over to your kid's birthday party and then ask them if they want to hit the piñata. When they say yes, put their blindfold on and then replace the piñata with a beehive.